everybody, Amy Pottinger here, and on this episode of Messy Life, Messy Kitchen, we are going to be making this delicious salad. It's the one I made last week, but nobody could eat it because I had chicken fingers. Not really literally, kind of literally, but not really literally, but not like chicken fingers. I don't know where I'm going with that one. But this is a goat cheese, pickled beet, tomato, and basil panzanella salad. It is delicious. It is a perfect, easy weeknight meal filled with vibrant flavors and colors. And I actually just totally skipped the chicken this time. And I ended up going with prosciutto because who doesn't love a nice crispy prosciutto? And it actually pairs really, really well with the salad. So follow along with me and we will make this salad salmonella free, I promise. We might even wash our hands just for the fun of it. My hair is not put back though, so, you know, feel free to critique me for that. But I'm the only one eating the salad since my husband's out of town right now, so if hair gets in my food, so be it. Actually, that kind of creeps me out. But anyway, welcome back to another Messy Life, Messy Kitchen. I'm in a different house now. We moved, you guys. It's like super generic, but it we have way more space, which is great. We're still in Hawaii. See, there's my kitchen. It's messy right now. There's my dog. It's messy because we finished filming my amateur setup over here where I do everything myself is the collective we. It could be me and the voices in my head. Okay, I'm done rambling now. At least for this clip. I will ramble more in others, I promise. Messy Life, Messy Kitchen. Salad. Crazy. Hey everybody, Amy Pottinger, and welcome to another Messy Life, Messy Kitchen. I've moved, clearly. I'm gonna assume that's clearly that you kind of pay attention. Who knows? We are still in Hawaii. We just moved to a house with more space. So I have more than 3 upper cabinets now, which is a breath of fresh air because it was kind of killing me. Anyways, tonight we are going to make the notorious salmonella salad that I made for a Food Network star, except for no salmonella. In fact, I've actually decided to forego the chicken entirely, and we're gonna make some nice crispy prosciutto. You could, of course, use chicken. However, honestly, it wouldn't be my first pick for the salad anyways. And now it's left a bad taste in my mouth, so we're just gonna swap it out, okay? Okay, so the first thing we're gonna wanna do is get our pickling liquid started for the beets. This is pretty easy. Wait, can I do the elevator thing? Can I be like, no, I'm not very good at that. What about? Kind of an elevator. Okay, you're gonna want to get a nice old pot here, okay? I'm using apple cider vinegar. I love apple cider vinegar. It's one of my favorite vinegars. You can use a different vinegar if you want. The only one I would probably refrain from using is something like a balsamic because that's gonna be a lot heavier and more syrupy and you're not gonna be able to pickle something in it. So I'm gonna add this to my pan. About 2 cups of apple cider vinegar there, okay? And in here I have 2 tablespoons of white sugar and 1 tablespoon of salt. Also important for pickling liquid. And we're gonna take this liquid and we're gonna like double down with it, and it's actually gonna become part of our salad dressing. So that salt and that sugar is gonna be important again later. So I'm gonna go over here and get that going. And while that is going, we are going to peel our beets once I find a vegetable peeler. See, like I said, I just moved in. I don't really know where anything is. No. Okay. I'm just going to cut the top and the bottom off. Beets are honestly one of my favorite things in the world. You can roast them, you can pickle them, and they are just seriously, truly one of my favorites. So try not to get it on the floor because beets do stain. Little known fact about beets. Just kidding, that's not a little known fact because they used to be used to create dyes way, way, way long ago. Probably still today in some parts of the world, who knows. I can't pay attention to other people. It's just too much for my brain. So yeah. So I had a lot of you actually ask me for this recipe, and as you can tell, as I mentioned earlier, we have moved. So my life has been like kind of chaotic lately. I spent a few days in New York, we moved houses. My husband's actually out of town right now, so I haven't had time to get this recipe up. I like to normally kind of try to get the recipe from the episode up the next day, but I am like behind in life like you read about. And I say behind in life, but we had like curtains and pictures hung like literally within a week of being here. And we're pretty productive people, honestly, like just ridiculously productive people. So, you can, of course, also too, if you want to, you can buy pickled beets, but I like to do stuff from scratch if I can. Not that it's that different, but it's also going to help us out because we're going to use the pickling liquid as a dressing, and because the beets have this beautiful like ruby red color, it's going to be almost like a fluorescent pink. I know that sounds weird, but it's really pretty for our salad dressing. So we're gonna get that going. Okay, bear with me. I'm gonna peel these other 2 beets off camera so you don't have to listen to me ramble about nothing while I'm peeling beets. I feel like I'm doing you a community service here. I guess it's not really for the community. I'm doing you a service here. Peeled beets, it's magic. Not really. I lied to you. Sorry if I deceived you and broke your trust, but it's not actually magic. Okay, I'm gonna slice these fairly thin. We're looking at like a little 1/4 inch sliver guy there because it's gonna go in our salad and we want them to be happy, petite little bites. So the reason we're heating up the pickling liquid is it helps it pickle faster. It actually expedites it quite a bit. Now, you can leave these in medallions if you'd like, or you can copycat me. And I'm gonna turn mine into like little half circles because I think they're pretty. And I like aesthetically pleasing things, which is why I normally just wear yoga pants all day, because I like to be aesthetically pleasing. Just kidding. Yeah, look at these cool beets. Look at that, look how pretty that is. You see that, kinda? It almost looks like a, what are those rocks called? Like agates or something like that? I should probably Google this stuff before I just sit here and make stuff up as I go, you know what I'm saying? No, you don't? You want to listen to me ramble? Works for me, because nobody else does. So as we're cutting these beets, the pickling liquid behind us is heating up. And we're just gonna plop these in and let them boil, not boil, let them like low simmer in there for about 15 to 20 minutes. So this is really like the only even borderline time consuming part of the dish. It's actually a really simple dish. So I have all my beets cut up here. And I have my pink beet hands. It's classy, isn't it? I'm gonna go here. Beets. Having fun yet? So there were a lot of you that were really sweet and were like, there was no sink, it's not her fault. I still had raw chicken in my hands, guys. I mean, that's pretty bad. I promise I normally do wash my hands at home and pretty much every other time I cook. But I don't know, I have never, ever been in a situation like that before. And I've never like live demoed, I've never demoed, literally. So it was all new and I was kind of flustered. And there was like a sanitation bucket below me, and it went through my mind, like, do I dip my hands in it? And then that seemed kind of awkward, but in hindsight, I guess it would have been better than like raw chicken. But luckily they thought I was at least adorable enough to keep me around, so I'm still here. Hi. Seriously, you guys, look at that. So bright. Okay, now we're gonna crisp up our prosciutto. You actually don't have to crisp it up if you don't want. It's perfectly delicious on its own like this. Totally delicious. But if you want to add a different textural element to it, you can crisp it up. So that's what we're gonna do today. It's pretty easy. Literally just like lay it in a pan. It has, I'm gonna eat this piece. It has fat in it, so you don't need to add any olive oil or anything. You literally just put prosciutto in the pan and cook it and flip it. So I kind of have confidence that you can do that. And if you can't do it, then God bless you. Seriously. Are we having fun yet today? No, that's okay. You can all stop watching. Suck it, Trebek. Smile. Smiling while I peel my prosciutto. Okay, I can start to see some steam coming off my water from my beets here. We want that, that's good. It means it is heating up and pickling. So like I said earlier, you could obviously do chicken if you wanted to do chicken instead of prosciutto, or you can make a vegetarian dish if you want. That's kind of why I chose the prosciutto, because it pairs better with the textures of the salad. Chicken's kind of heavier. If my husband's in town, he always wants like some sort of animal protein. If he's not in town, then there are so many times I just skip the animal protein altogether because I don't need it in everything that I eat. So yeah. Another thing he likes in his meals that I could live without, carbs. I mean, I love them as much as the next person, but this ass, I'll tell you what, even when I starve it, it grows. So if I give it stuff like bread, it's like, I don't know if Jack and the Beanstalk is really the right analogy there, but it just grows really fast, more than I'd like it to. But if you add bread to a salad, it's a panzanella salad, basically. Fresh bread just kind of makes for this it's like a soft crouton essentially, not really a crouton, but it sops up all of the flavors of like the olive oil and the vinegar and the stuff that you have in your dressing, and just kind of creates a different element to a salad that maybe you haven't had before. So while my prosciutto is crisping and my beets are pickling, I'm going to start cubing my bread. You want to get a loaf of bread that's like sourdough or French bread, or like some sort of hearty farm style bread. I guess you could use sandwich bread. I wouldn't, but hey, who am I to tell you what to do with your life? So these are just little cubes. See, little cubey guy. And I'm just gonna set them over here on top of my napkin, which I totally just used to wipe some raw chicken off with. Oh, hi. Sorry, my dog's barking because my kid's here. Okay, we're just gonna cube it up here. I just use my hands to fondle some raw chicken. Not really, I'm kidding. I can hear my prosciutto. You can see it's kind of starting to get a little bit wrinkly. It's getting crispy, so I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna potentially flip it. And it's gonna cook a lot faster on the other side. So pay attention to that. My bread has roasted garlic in it because one of my great loves in life, maybe second only to my husband and my children, is roasted garlic. And goat cheese and beets are also up there, so this is going to just be like my dream salad now that I'm not poisoning people on the Food Network. I'm going to eat this one because it had a giant garlic clove in it. So you can do this. On the show, I did it with fresh mozzarella because I was kind of doing like a caprese salad, but I like goat cheese more, so I'm actually going to do it with goat cheese. And you could use either. It's like a really easy substitution, whichever one you decide to swap out for, it doesn't matter. Goat cheese is like tangier and it's softer, and mozzarella just has like a really fresh, clean flavor. So it depends on where you're trying to go with this. It's totally up to you. Okay, I'm going to switch up my prosciutto in 1 minute. Yeah, I'm gonna switch it up. Okay. And once this is removed from the heat for a little bit, it'll start to it'll get more like crunchy and solid. So let's turn that heat down because my pan is literally smoking. You guys, I'm fondling meat. And that's my dog Shooter. Every time somebody knocks on the door, he barks. I have to go answer my door. There's little girls knocking on it. This is my life. Okay, so I just checked on my beets. They're almost there. They've probably been pickling for about 15 minutes or so. You want them to be like nice and tender, almost the same texture as if you were roasting them in the oven, except for it's gonna be a different flavor profile, obviously because we're pickling them. So I cut up some of my bread. I'm not gonna cut all this bread up because ain't nobody need that much bread. Unless you're gonna run like a half marathon the next day, then Eat some bread, people. But I don't need that much bread. Maybe you do. Maybe your metabolism can handle it. So we're gonna get our salad dressing started here while I'm waiting for that to finish up. We will need some of that pickling liquid, so, you know, bear with me on this one, but there's other stuff we can do as well. So I'm gonna juice this lemon into my food processor. I'm putting my hand here to catch the seeds, if for some reason that's something that's like, not something you're familiar with. And if you roll your lemon, like before you cut it, I didn't do it because I'm an amateur, but if you roll your lemon like on the cutting board like this before you squeeze the juice out, it's gonna release more juice. So that's a plus. And I can hear my cucumber plants blowing over outside. Oh, our cucumbers are on like this like super vertical trellis, and we're like in a really oddly windy area. And gosh, we really need to get one of those like in-ground pots, but we knew we were gonna, or planters, but we knew we were gonna move, so we just put everything in like pots, and we've moved, but now my pots keep blowing over, and it's very frustrating because we're working really hard to keep all of our stuff alive. Very easy to keep alive. This is basil from my garden. That doesn't blow over because it's not on a vertical trellis because it's basil. Garlic, my friend garlic. He's gonna go in there too. I'm going to put, I'm gonna do one. I'm debating doing a second, but I don't think I'm going to. Beckham, no, my dog wants outside. He's gonna have to wait. I lied to you, I'm gonna do a second garlic clove. You probably only wanna do one, unless you have the same affinity for garlic that I do, but like, I tend to over garlic stuff. Not for my taste buds, but for normal people's taste buds. Okay, I'm going to do a half cup of olive oil. It's like musical instruments over here. God, this is bringing me back to my bartending days. So I actually met my husband. I was bartending at a restaurant, and he came in and he was looking for a job, and I had no idea that he was interviewing for a job because I served him 2 double Jack and Diet Cokes. And then our owner came downstairs and was like, "Hey, Patrick," and can you hear my dog pawing at the door? And sure enough, he was interviewing for a job, and he got it. We fell in love. We actually met each other. We actually got married on paper. We had our church wedding later, but we got married on paper after only knowing each other 5 months. And for 2 of those, we were actually long distance. He had to go back to Texas to go commission for the Air Force, and I was still in Washington. So we met in July, got engaged in November, got married in paper on December, and then had our church wedding the following August. What does that have to do with the salad? Absolutely nothing. But now you know. So we've been married, it'll be 10 years in December. Isn't that crazy? Ah, I know. I feel like being like, "Look, Geppetto, I'm a real boy, I'm a real adult." Okay. Not to like go all over the place, but see how now that my prosciutto has like cooled down, it's kind of like a, I almost made a reptile dysfunction joke about the prosciutto. It's not flaccid anymore, my prosciutto. It's nice and rigid and firm. It could stand erect if it needed to. And I'm done. Okay. Pickling liquid. I know this is done because I have checked on it. I'm going to turn it off. Unfortunately, I have like splatter all over my stovetop, which I'll have to take care of in a minute. I'll just keep eating this bread. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about a half cup of my pickling liquid. Let's see here. I'm trying to like not make a huge mess. I don't know if I'm going to use all of this because the salt from the pickling liquid is like pretty heavy. So I don't want to dump way too much in and then just have it be super salty. Whew, we could always counteract that with more olive oil and stuff like that, but I'm just going to do that, okay? If you have a problem with it, I really just don't know what to tell you. I'm going to save some extra in case I feel like, I don't know, dyeing my carpet hot pink. Oh, this will give you a better idea of that color. See? very vibrant color. Okay, and I'm gonna go over here to my sink. I have a slotted spoon. I'm gonna drain the rest of my liquid and allow these babies to cool. They're hot, 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 hot. What's that from? Where's it? Hot, 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 hot. Oh, it's from South Park, the Cream Frasier episode. I love South Park. Okay, I'm debating where I want to set this down because I don't really want to like stain my counter. We're starting to get a wee bit messy over here. But this is called Messy Life, Messy Kitchen, so I'm really just trying to keep in theme. Okay, so I kind of taste everything before it is not too salty. So I'm gonna add this half cup. We're going to listen to this lovely blending noise. Okay. I'm gonna taste it again, and since I'm the only one eating this, I'm gonna use the same spoon without washing it. Take that, society. I'm actually really glad I added that second garlic clove to that. Okay, I'm going to take about half of my basil. So this is probably about a quarter cup, maybe less. It's a very loosely packed quarter cup. We'll say that. And I'm going to just give it another quick chop. And this is like very, very thin at this point because it is like the olive oil and the water. So I'm gonna grab another pan. I'm going to reduce it down to thin it out. So when you reduce something, you're basically just cooking off the water. So that's what we're doing in this case, because if I were to put this like on your salad right now, it's like beet water. I know that sounds really, 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 really appetizing, but I do want this thinned out so it has a little bit more viscosity like a dressing should. So, and make sure you get like all those garlic cloves and stuff out. I really want, you know, those in there. So I'm gonna get my spoon. Look at this mess I have. Messy life, messy kitchen, messy everything. So okay, I'm gonna tidy up and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have let that reduce for a few minutes. I'm actually gonna add a little bit of honey to it because I'd like it to be a little bit sweeter. I like things that are acidic, but I also like it when they have the balance, right? That's what we're looking for, a nice balance. So I'm just gonna add like 2 teaspoons of honey to this. And I'm gonna switch to a whisk. I'm gonna get rid of my spoon here so I can kind of keep everything together. Go. Okay, we're almost done, you guys. Congratulations, you've almost made a salad. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay, so on the show, I used whole heirloom tomatoes. My grocery store did not have whole heirloom tomatoes today, so I bought these adorable little baby ones. Look how cute they are, look at that. Oh, okay. And I'm just gonna have them because I like to have my tomatoes. You could quarter them if you wanted, but I kind of like the visual of them just being halved. Very simple. Really is a simple salad. If you were to just cut out me talking for an extended period of time and just watch me make it, you realize it's an easy one. It's an easy one. Okay, so last but not least, I have the rest of my basil. And I'm going to cut it into little teeny tiny, see me here, little basil, no, that's the opposite where I want to. Haha! Little basil ribbons. So you want to get it as close together as you can. And then just give it a nice little schnock cut. And then it's just these like lovely little like shredded ribbons. Put that back in here. yeah, so we have like all these plants now. It all started out with me growing herbs, and now we have like, because we like keep adding one at a time. We really seriously need to switch to like like a raised garden bed, because we just have this like odd assortment of pots everywhere, and it's starting to like get slightly awkward, but not really. Okay, let's see here. Let's turn this off. So this is going to be like kind of like a broken dressing, which doesn't really matter. It's not really a thing. It's just, it's not going to be like you'll see, like the olive oil and the vinegar pickling liquid are going to separate, which I think creates something kind of pretty. You can always buy vinaigrette if you want to skip this part, but I wouldn't. So here's the beets. You can see they are flaccid. My prosciutto is not flaccid. My beets are flaccid, but they're deliciously flaccid. Okay. I'm going to start with a bed of arugula, which is like my favorite thing in the entire world. Arugula makes me happy. I realized I said I have like 5 favorite things in the entire world today. It's probably true. I'm going to downward you guys just a little bit, so you can kind of see what's going on. See? There. Okay. Ta-da. Okay. And then let's get some beets on. What do they say? They say like, turn up the beet, turn up the beet. They don't say that, do they? Oh, jeez. I love beets. They're so good. So, I'm keeping with this whole beet and goat cheese theme. Oh, actually, and arugula. I have an amazing pickled beet, goat cheese, and arugula panini. I had a burger with it once, and I thought, that's such an odd thing. Like, are the beets going to be good on the burger? They were amazing on the burger. It kind of surprised me, but they were delicious. Okay, I'm gonna get a couple pieces of the bread on there. I'm gonna chop up my prosciutto, kind of like in like little crispy strips that are kind of, you know, similar to the whatchamacallit, the basil. Try not to cut your finger off, because even though we did avoid the salmonella fingers, we don't want to serve your guests your blood. Or you do, and you are watching the wrong cooking show. This isn't even a show. It's a YouTube channel like 5 people subscribe to. Okay, bread, beets. I'm gonna go prosciutto, just some lovely little pieces here and there, and some tomatoes, and some goat cheese. Where's my fork? Whatever. And I like to put the dressing on last, because then when you drizzle it, it can really get on like the bread. Like the bread will soak it up. So actually, I'm gonna put my basil on last, but same difference. So here we have our dressing. You can kind of see that it's separated. That's totally okay. It's not a big deal. It's just gonna kind of look a little funky, but like it's gonna taste the exact same. So when you do get a scoop though, make sure that you get, can you see this really? Make sure, not really. Make sure you're getting both olive oil as well as the pickling liquid in there, or else you're gonna be a grump. Because you need both. Okay. And now I'm gonna top it off with a little bit of basil. And we're done, you guys, we're done. It's just a simple, beautiful little weeknight salad. It's gonna be crunchy, salty, have that nice bread in there, the beautiful acidity of the pickled beets, that dressing, my friend arugula. You're gonna be happy. So thanks for stopping by for another Messy Life, Messy Kitchen. And if you're in the mood to listen to somebody ramble, I'll see you next time. If you're not, then that's all I have to say.